Hello there. Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, the show that talks about government functions and not only just government functions, but all vital parts of Monmouth County. And today I'm happy to have Adam Phillipson, CEO at the Count Basie Center for the Arts, which is a vital part of the economic engine here in Monmouth County. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks so much. Happy to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. And again, I want to thank you, your staff, all the arts industry for all they do to make Monmouth County, so successful in that field and more importantly in the tourism field. This has been different and it has been really hard on you guys there. And COVID-19 has impacted numerous businesses throughout the county. How has the health pandemic impacted Count Basie specifically?
Yeah, I mean, it's been devastating, Tom. Since since March 12th, when we had Tony Bennett on the stage, that was the last time we had our doors open. So it's been, financially, it's been an impact. I think it's been, just an emotional upheaval in the community in general, not having shows at the Basie to be able to stimulate, the tourism and people coming to town to eat and drink. And it's been devastating. We have, we've been more nimble than most, but in general, the arts will be the last to really get to open. And it's really tragic.
It is. It so much is. And, I frequent Red Bank often, and you could actually sense it. You guys are the hub there, because when you have a packed house, those packed houses are going to other venues before and after the show, which obviously, drive that economic side. Now, as the freeholders, and I want to thank my fellow freeholders because we have realized the impact. Unfortunately, financially, we do the best we can with supporting some of your programs there, but we also had the CARES Act money that we decided, okay, what can we do to help assist them? Because not only were you losing revenue, on top of it, you were incurring expenses. So, fellow freeholders, we started The Show Must Go On in Monmouth and help support that. How did that help you guys there in particular?
Honestly, it was a lifeline. And really thank you so much for your leadership and the freeholders. It's to have heard as a sector that, you guys recognize how important the arts are to our community, to our county. First of all, that alone means so much. But, in terms of just the nuts and bolts of it, we've had a lot of expenses incurred for PPE, things that you never would have expected, but we don't want anyone touching tickets. So everything's got to be handheld and new systems to be able to walk through and take temperature and, all these things that you have to do to make people feel safe. There's filtration that has to change. I don't think it's really easy to understand how much has to change in order to be able to make people feel safe. So, that has been just an enormous support for us, Tom.
So, the big part of the support of the freeholders is the educational component side that you offer there at Count Basie, which is unbelievable. And so what changed? But obviously, as we all know, the schools have changed and the attendance has changed and the virtual schooling is brought into play more. So what changes have you made on the educational programs to continue during this time?
Well, I'd say that in probably within a week to 10 days, we pivoted to virtual. So the minute we knew that and a lot of that we could do, if you had a one-on-one class learning piano or violin, that's something that you could do really easily. When you had larger classes, that was harder. We were right in the middle of doing a Disney Junior production of Moana Junior. And, we had 60 kids that were rehearsing and so excited for the performance, which was canceled. And rather than going through a complete disarray of letting it go, what we did was we pivoted that too. So these kids for the first time did a full production on Zoom. They were rehearsing, and we actually filmed it. So there's just so much that you have to do, Tom, to be able to get people first online. And then, as we were able to a little bit start to get people on site. And I think all of those PPE things that we've been able to do and some of what we did over the summer, as you know, when we were outdoors doing some things, we learned so much about how to make people safe and feel safe and actually be safe. and we applied all of that to our education programs, as well as anything that we could do on site.
So, as everybody sees now, and actually when they drive past Count Basie looks a little bit different than it used to. And it's beautiful. It's stunning, beautiful. And I know that the Vogel Center and what has that generated, and what I guess you could say performances. What will we be moving forward with? I guess you call it the Vogel Center.
Yeah, it's called the Vogel. Yep, it's it's just an incredible space. Again,
it is beautiful,
isn't it, Tom? I know, and it's not something you can use at its full capacity yet. I mean, when it's up and running, you can have 400, 500, 600 seated, 800 standing. But within what the governor allowed us to do, 25% or 150, we spaced out tables at 6 feet apart, and we're able to have 150 people downstairs and upstairs around the edge of the balcony. And it sounds great. People have been coming out. It's been safe. We've been doing some really good programs. It's been singer-songwriters. There's just been so much that we've been able to try to do. Some comedians. We had a great comedian this last weekend. It's happening a little bit, but man, it's not enough to sustain anybody.
No, it's not those packed houses that we saw before that we hope to get to very shortly, which you will, because when people come and see all the efforts that you put in there, and I commend you and your staff there, because it's actually stunning. I mean, it truly is stunning. And, the future is a little different. I guess it's going to be different in the whole post-pandemic era there, where we're going to have to, I guess things are going to change a little. People are going to be a little cautious for not when we hear that the pandemic is over. People are still going to be a little cautious, and I know you're working towards the future of that.
Definitely, Tom. I mean, I think as an industry as a whole, we're
Yes.
on Zooms and calls with the sector, daily and weekly, just trying to figure this all out. How can we ever get people back safely? And even when there's a vaccine or whatever happens, and it's coming.
So, in closing, I want you to know, and you could pass on to everybody in that industry, that the Freeholders will always be supportive of the arts. First of all, I love the arts, and then more importantly, on a somewhat of a selfish side of it, Monmouth County needs the arts in the worst way. And so with both of those components, all my fellow freeholders there, were so supportive, and we know the positive impact. And more importantly, I want to commend you personally, because it's not easy. It's a business that right now, like the rug was pulled out, and you got to try to put that rug back a little piece by piece, and you're doing it well. And I want to commend you for everything you've done, and that we're there to help you in any aspect.
We really appreciate it, Tom. It's really meant so much to us. And, watching this community come together, in support of the arts is something that's giving us all a lot of fuel to keep going until we can be back open. So thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you, Adam. It's great talking to you. Looking forward to coming to some big show soon. Thank you.
Us too. All right. Thanks, Tom.
You got it. Thanks, Adam. Bye-bye.
The Academic Access Program is for any student who may have some anxiety about entering college, want some extra support and guidance, or have had an IEP or a 504 plan in high school. So we're offering 2 courses this fall. The first is 084, and that is a really great way to start college. It's for anyone that needs a little extra hand-holding, and we go over things that will help them in their college courses. And we've also added a unit on remote learning. And the second course is ACAD 089. This course offers one-on-one tutoring in content area courses such as math or science, psychology, or business. We are also planning on offering some limited in-person tutoring on our Lincroft campus. So this is a brief snapshot of what we offer. If you're interested or you have any questions, please contact me at lkirkwood@brookdalecc.edu.
Okay, welcome to Monmouth in Focus, the show that talks a little bit about all of government. And these last few shows, we kind of segued off of actually government and very vital components of the success of Monmouth County. And today we are here with Bob and Mickey Clark, owners of the Fur Farm. They've been in business a long time, and I'm going to ask that. But more importantly, they've been part of a very, very vital, important part and successful part here in Monmouth County that Freeholder Berry and myself started, and that's Grown in Monmouth. So welcome, guys. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Good.
Good. Great to see you guys. I love the look. It's great. And it's definitely very festive. So
Christmas is coming.
How long have you guys been part of the Grown in Monmouth initiative?
We've been a part of Grown in Monmouth right since the beginning.
Yes, you have. I was waiting for you to say that. And you guys really stepped up, and I want to thank you. And you're located in Colts Neck.
Correct.
Sure. And I obviously myself, Freeholder Berry, and the other freeholders have frequented numerous times, and it's been it's great. And so, how is this initiative, the Grown in Monmouth, you feel has helped at the Fur Farm?
Well, Grown in Monmouth always promotes all the local businesses, and everybody likes to shop local and support the local businesses. So it works out really good.
It does. And that was the whole initiative of Grown in Monmouth. It was for us as the freeholders to get the word out to keep everything inside our county. And if people shop there and they spend there, our whole county will be successful. Unfortunately, through this COVID part, it has kind of put a little bit of a damper on it. But fortunately enough for the Fur Farm, we're outside. We could social distance well, and you have numerous initiatives. And what types of crops does the Fur Farm grow?
Well, we have hops, Christmas trees.
Yes.
And bees.
So talk a little bit about the hops, because that was always my favorite one when I came to see that there.
Oh, yeah. So we've been growing hops for about 6 years now. And we've got about 14 different breweries around the state that have used our hops or honey in some type of beer that they've produced. And as you very well know, the hop harvest is a fun time. Of course, not this year, but hopefully next year we'll be back out there in action. And everyone will be out there helping us pick those hops.
It's in August every year.
Absolutely. And the good thing about that is Freeholder Berry and I, we wanted to make sure that you guys had good hops. So we made sure we went back to the brewery and took a little taste of the beer that came from the hops there. And it was fabulous, I might say. So during the holiday season, you refocus, I guess you could say, and it's on the trees and the reefs. How does that really, what component of your business is that?
So the Fur Farm has been a Christmas tree farm for about 40 years. And it's amazing when folks come out to the farm and they tell us how they came out to the farm as children. And now they're coming out to the farm with their children now that they've grown up.
Third and fourth generations. We have a big Rudolph we blow up on the front lawn.
Right, I know that. Yeah. I know that the sheriff and myself were there last year. That was great. That was absolutely great. So obviously we're in COVID-19. Things have changed a little. Safety measures have changed. What have you guys put into effect to try to obviously adhere to all the guidelines that the state is passing on?
We're going to follow the CDC guidelines for outdoor activities. And, it's a blessing that we're outside. Everything's outside.
Yeah.
That is great. That is great. And so obviously one of my favorite initiatives that you guys do is the Trees for Troops. So, and I think that everybody that has been part of it loves it. And for people that don't, when you explain what it is, I think there's nobody that can't think that this is a great program that you put together. Can you talk a little bit to Trees for Troops?
Yep, so true. We got involved with them about 7 years ago, and gives everybody a chance to purchase a tree, and then that tree will get delivered to a family living on a military base around the country. And we can do our little part to help out and have people come out to the farm and make it easier for them to donate a tree. And the whole Trees for Troops organization, along with FedEx, it's a magical program, and we're just thrilled to be part of it.
It's wonderful, and it's bringing some happiness to a family that's located on a base, and a lot of the children are with some of their parents as they're deployed. It just brings happiness, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, it so does. And you know, all you see when you pull up there that day and for the days going there is all you see is happy smiles. And I have to commend you guys for this, because what you do there, this is what Monmouth County is about. And you have been since day one in the Growing in Monmouth a supporter. I truly feel you've helped kick it off. So when we continue to grow, you're a vital part of the start of that growth. And I know on behalf of Freeholder Barry and myself and all the freeholders, we want to say thank you. Monmouth County's success, everybody talks about the different avenues of government that's successful, and we feel successful over the course of the years. But, you know, that's one part. Okay, a lot of the parts are these type of initiatives that people say only Monmouth County does, and you guys have shown that. And I, on behalf of the county in whole, want to thank both of you and let you know, please stay with us. We're just going to keep growing, no pun intended. And with that being said, I want you to have a great holiday season, and I know you will, and we'll be there to support you throughout the whole season. So thank you. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to help and come and explain your programs and the fur farm to our residents here in Monmouth County.
And thank you for all of your
Thanks,
support.
Tom. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Learning is not canceled. Yay!
Brookdale Community College's professional studies programs are designed for those who want to start a career in technology. It's a great time to explore a job field that will see a 21% jump in the next few years. Get started with the fundamentals of IT class or get trained for a career in A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, Linux Plus, Python, cybersecurity, or 7 more classes that are programmed with you in mind. Get course descriptions at brookdalecc.edu/continuinged/IT. Get your technology career started by signing up today at brookdalecc.edu/continuinged/IT. Brookdale, here we'll get you there.
Here at Brookdale, you'll find students exploring their path and earning credits to 4-year universities. Here, you'll find over 60 degree and certification classes. Here, you'll find access, community, and affordability to reach your educational goals. Staying close to home can still take you far. Here, we'll get you there.
Hello there. We are here at Monmouth in Focus, the show that we have that talks a lot about county government and the functions of county government. And there's so many different broad aspects of government, from public safety and operations of Monmouth County's government. And today we're happy to have Fred Migliaccio, the Monmouth County Fire Marshal, a very good friend of mine and does a fabulous job here. And, you know, we're getting into the Christmas season, so I thought it was very important to talk about fire safety and the educational component. Fred, how are you?
Great, Freeholder. How are you?
Great to have you on. Thank you for taking some time out. So, you know, a lot of people aren't aware of this, but statistically, there are a lot of fires come this time of the year, and for certain reasons. Do you have any of those statistics that we have at this time of the year?
Yes. Well, you know, the holidays are traditionally a time for family and friends to get together, and it also means a greater risk for fire. Hopefully today we can pass along a few simple tips that will ensure a happy and fire-safe holiday season. We do find that statistically 25% of the holiday fires are started by decorations like lights, candles, paper decorations, and especially Christmas trees.
So, you know, that's something, and everybody loves to drive around and see the lights and their Christmas trees. And, you know, I just did the show right before yours. I just spoke to the Clark brothers of the Fur Farm in Colts Neck, who sell Christmas trees and wreaths. Can you explain to the viewers some of the Christmas tree and all the menorahs and the Kanaras, safety tips that need to be taken?
Yeah, that's important. People don't put the emphasis on Christmas trees that they should. You know, 1 out of every 52 Christmas tree fires result in death, unfortunately. Christmas trees, you know, you need to monitor them for safety reasons. Number one and foremost, you need to, if it's a live tree, you need to water that tree on a daily basis. Make sure there's always plenty of water in the base of the tree. Most of your tree stands have a basin that holds the water, and that will allow the trunk to absorb the water and keep it as fresh as possible, because a dried out tree will ignite immediately if it comes in contact with an ignition source. You need to also check that your heat sources are not too close to the tree. Maintain a 3-foot clearance at least to radiators, space heaters, heating vents, candles, and especially fireplaces. Make sure your tree also doesn't block any of your exits. And if the tree does become dry, as it will eventually, get rid of it as soon as possible after the holiday season.
So, according to the National Fire Protection Association, cooking fires are the #1 cause of home fires. And obviously, people are excited about cooking during the holiday seasons. So what can you talk a little bit about that, preparing meals safely?
Well, first thing, I'm going to throw my little plug in there to make sure that you have adequate smoke alarms on every level of your home and in your sleeping areas. That's the first thing, even before I get into the kitchen stuff. But as far as cooking, number one, don't wear loose clothing or sleeves that are going to dangle near your stove or where you're burning. People, get dressed up in the holidays. They're running around. They're trying to work in the kitchen at the same time. They have loose stuff hanging from their sleeves and frilly items. And next thing you know, something inadvertently catches fire, and then it becomes a catastrophe. If you're frying or grilling or broiling, never leave it unattended. Never, don't leave the kitchen unattended when you have activities like that going on, because they need to be monitored, because they can change at a moment's notice. If you are simmering, baking, if you're roasting or broiling food, check it regularly. Use timers to remind you to attend to the cooking food that's going on. Keep your kids and your pets away from the cooking area, at least 3 feet. And anything that can catch fire, your pot holders, oven mitts, wooden utensils. How often, you drop the oven mitt down on the stove and it's right adjacent to the burners. People just get complacent and this stuff happens, and, towels, curtains, it's all stuff that we need to be very conscious of,
It's amazing, all those little things that we just take for granted. And probably everybody that's listening to this, including myself, probably is like, oh, wow, that happens all the time there. And the other probably big component is everybody is somewhat cost conscious. And obviously heating prices and everything goes up. So they try to find alternative ways to heat rooms and heat different areas. And they put these electric heaters and these types of heaters in. Can you talk a little bit about that? We'll close out on those, because that's a vital part of
space heaters.
Yes.
Space heaters. They're we all like them, supplementary heating. Got a cold spot in your house. Let's grab a space heater. We'll put it and leave it unattended. You must, if you're going to use the space heaters, I don't recommend it, but if you have to use the space heater, they do make those oil-filled heaters that have no open flame, no open ignition switch, which are nice. They throw a lot of heat, and they're quite safe. But with the other element-style heaters, you got to keep an eye on them, and make sure you have a proper size extension cord if you're going to use an extension cord. I don't recommend that you should plug it directly into a receptacle, but if you're going to use an extension cord, it must be rated to carry. They're usually 1,000 to 12,000 watts, 1,200 watts. I'm sorry, I meant to correct myself. and that uses a lot of current. If you have a light duty extension cord, that's where we find the fires that exist. It overloads the cords. Next thing you know, you got a point of resistance that breaks down, and then boom, you have a fire. You know, it's got to be on a level surface too, because some of those things are very sensitive to that. The other area, again, is your fireplace. You know, keep your combustibles away from your fireplaces and your packages at Christmas time, your wrap packages. They look nice on the mantle, you know, but next thing you know, it's right next to the fireplace. Over a period of time, you know, something, you know, will extend to those points, you know. Burn seasoned wood, you know, wood that is low in moisture, because that'll create a big problem, you know.
Yeah, Fred, I have to tell you, you know, in closing, I want to thank you for all the work you do with all the 53 municipalities here in Monmouth County. You know, obviously, it's not easy bringing all personalities together to work together for one common goal, and that's obviously safety, fire safety. And you have done it well. And I commend you. All I hear is such positive response throughout Monmouth County on your department and all your staff. And I've seen from the graduations the way you handle those type of the individuals and our new recruits and our new graduates. And I will tell you, people somewhat take granted of your department, but it's one of the most vital departments here. And I want to personally thank all our fire departments in Monmouth County. And I want to thank you and your staff for what you do to try to keep Monmouth County safe by educating them. And today was extremely beneficial to people. And I'm hoping that a lot of people view this around the holiday season and they take a look at themselves and go, wow, I'm doing that. Let me stop. So I want to thank you. I hope you and your family have a great holiday season, and looking forward to another graduation of new recruits coming in.
Thank you, Freeholder, and also the Board of Chosen Freeholders, who supports us very well at anything that we need to make our job safer and support the 53 municipalities of Monmouth County, which is probably, I feel, the greatest fire departments in New Jersey.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Fred. Have a great holiday season. Thank you for coming on.